Ladies and gentlemen, it's your boy RuffledRowlit. Welcome to a brand new video, guys. Today, ladies and gentlemen, we've got some things. Also, I just realized I forgot to turn on the light, ladies and gentlemen. I forgot to turn on the light. We need to have the lights on, otherwise this shit look bad. This should look bad. Also, I'm a little bit tired because we just woke up. No, we're not going to use Inner Peace. I don't want that. That's not a nice color. We're going to use Forest, because Forest is nice. There you go. Got all that green, man. All that green. But ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a brand new video, guys. Today, we're not doing a rumor. Today, we're actually in this video talking about two different theories. The first one was sent to me by a viewer a long time ago, actually. And it was sent to me by Hawaz. Basically sent this my way, I think on the 25th of March. Yeah, it's been a long time. I'm so sorry I'm getting to it right now. As you guys know, there are so many rumors and theories that, like, are sent my way. Sometimes it takes me ages to get to them. So Hawaz, shout out to you, man, for this theory, dude. You made it, so shout out to you. Basically, he said, here's another one of my theories. It's quite interesting, to say the least. And I was like, thank you, I'll check it out. And I did check it out, but it was back then, and I haven't, like, really revisited it since. So I thought we'd be revisiting it today, looking into what he had to say in it, as well as also going through a different theory that was sent to me by Ro Martins. So Ro Martins sent me one as well, and, you know, I thought we'd just go through all of it, and, yeah, just break it down, you know, just simple as that. Really, not much else to, you know, say besides that. Just go through it, break it down, you know, the general stuff. It is what it is. Also, I don't have my studio lights on. I wanted to see, like, how it would feel without the studio lights on when I'm recording this, so to see if, you know, it's better or not. But it is what it is. It's the general stuff. You get it. So I thought we'd start with Ro Martin's theory first, because it's the one that is very intriguing to me the most, and I've actually the one that I remember most, because it's the shorter one. So we'll take the shorter one first and the longer one afterwards. So let's start with that first. So here we go. Now, this was sent to me again by, like I said, Ro Martin, saying, Sobble's signs with hands are mudras, opening the chakras. And what you see right here is that if you look at the, like, you know, within, like, I guess, I mean, I guess when you do yoga and that sort of stuff, I mean, not just yoga, but, like, I guess just when they're trying to open chakras and stuff like that, and, you know, just when you're doing, like, hand signs, which are mudras, it's very similar. One of these, in particular, is very similar. This one right here, as you may notice, is very similar to your boy Sobble's hands. You'll notice right there, his hands are very much like that, you know, just like how this guy, you know, is putting his hands right there. And I remember the you know, these sort of signs and these kind of, like, you know, positions and whatnot are very similar to how they do in Naruto. Like, for example, in Naruto, you've got, like, you know, how do they do it again? Like, I can't even remember. Like, it's like the bull is like something like this. I think something like this is like the bull, and then you, of course, you got the normal, like, just, you know, the normal hands. You've got, oh, what else is there? Like, there's also, dude, there's so many weird ones, you know what I mean? But, like, basically, there's different, like, hand motions you can do, to basically make, like, different, you know, to make your chakra shoot out in different ways. Like, for example, you know, Naruto does his, like, you know, Kagebunshi no Jutsu, and he summons a bunch of, you know, clones, or, yeah, that's literally what he does. Then you've got, like, other ones where they use the bull and whatnot, and then they, you know, they shoot out, like, fire, like, you know, shit like that. So it's a high possibility, as said here, and as this guy was saying down here, Musa said, is that it could be that this is a water, this could confirm it as a water psychic type. And I think that's the more likely point right now. So this video, as you may notice now, is much about the starter Pokemon and their typings. So I would actually want to argue, and also, by the way, I know some of you might be confused, because I did say, like, yesterday that I've got a big theory video planned. This isn't that theory video. There's a different theory that's really, really big, and it's more about the whole game that I'm planning to do. This is just a short theory that I thought would be fun to just kind of break down in a simple video like this, kind of in the normal rumor format, rather than just going into, you know, like a hyper-edited one, because I want to hyper-edit the you know, bigger theories that are humongous. Not saying these are bad ones. It's just, you know, personally, I feel like these ones can be broken down pretty quickly like this. But in general terms, though, I think this is kind of, like, cool if you think about it, because honestly, look at them hands. They look like Cheetos, and they do look similar to how, you know, this position right here is, you know what I mean? It's like, it feels very similar. It feels very similar. It's like, you know what I mean? It just feels very similar, you know what I mean? That's all I'm going to say about that one. Feels very similar, feels very, you know, in tune. It's like number 5 right there, as you may notice. Also, I'm not sure how this is a opening chakras. This one does make sense, though, like the 7 one. And they got 9, and you got, alright, it's getting a little bit odd now, So yeah, it's interesting. Let's just, to say the least, it's interesting to say the least. And I think this could be pointing towards the possibility of, you know, and it's a small detail, right? It's a small detail, but it could point towards the possibility of it being a psychic type. And I actually wouldn't mind that. I would love to see Sobble being a psychic type. I think it would be pretty cool. So yeah, let me know in the comment section what do you guys think about this one. What are your thoughts? What are your opinions? Let me know in the comment section down below. And now let's jump over to the next one here. So this is a bit of a chunky one, a bit of a chunky room, as I said. You're not going to be able to see majority of it because it's basically, I had no way of getting this in a way where you guys can see all of it. It's like impossible to get it that way, so you're gonna just have to listen to me reading it out. Unfortunately, I'm sorry, this is the only way I can do it. So here's how we start off though. It's a bit hard trying to see what the second typings are for the starters. True, that is very true. So I have a few suggestions to see. Some starters at least, what their second typings are and why. I'm going to start pointing towards Gen 5, Gen 6, and Gen 7. Black and white, X and Y, Sun and Moon, because it is interesting to see how the typings work and cross over somehow, and wait, let me explain. So for Gen 5, the starter typings were very simple and quite odd. Oshawott and Samurott, you know, I guess until Samurott, were water types, you know what I mean, just pure water. Tepic to Embor is firefighting. Snivy to Superior is grass. So the only one with a secondary typing was, you know, Tepic's evolution line, you know what I mean, that was the only one that actually had a, you know, a secondary typing. Knowing from that time, they did they did fire/fighting for the third time, and I was really concerned about the next generation of starters. For Generation 6, the starter typings are Froakie to Greninja is Water Dark, Fennekin to Delphox is Fire Psychic, Chespin to Chestnut is Grass Fighting. So you can see here, every single one of the starters evolution lines gets a secondary typing. Of course, Water Dark with Greninja, Fire Psychic with, you know, Fennekin's evolution line, and Chespin's is Grass Fighting. So, interesting. Now, from here, the typings were really unique with Dark and Psychic, but Fighting was still the case, but it moved on to Grass, which is really strange, and again, unique for the for Grass, because there hasn't been a Fighting linked with Grass before as a starter. Fair point. So, at this rate, when they announced a new gen, being Sun and Moon, you know, when they did the announcement back in 2016, let's see, to make sure I didn't lose myself here, Sun and Moon, right here. So, surely they would have the Fighting type on the Water type to finish off the set of Fighting type starters. Then you see Gen 7 starters typings are Poplio to Primarina, Water Fairy, Litten to Incineroar, Fire Dark, and Rowlet to Decidueye, Grass Ghost. So this one was actually one of my, like, favorite kind of, like, typings for any Pokemon generation, because it was kind of interesting, like, Water Fairy, like, okay, cool. Fire Dark, okay, that's pretty sick. And Grass Ghost is like, damn, like, I never would have expected him to go down that path. Like, think about it, right? And I still think Decidueye as Grass Ghost is a little bit weird. The whole, like, Ghost typing just seems a little bit odd to me, but I'm still on board for it, so I'll take it. But yeah, so once again, they were unique as the typings haven't been done on starters before, except Dark type, which was from the last gen with Greninja being Dark. But also there was no Fighting type. Actually, wait, Fairy? Yeah, there was no Fairy back then. I always keep thinking Fennekin is a Fire Fairy type, or like Delphox is a Fire Fairy type, but it's a Fire Psychic type. Let's see, starters before expecting a Dark type, Greninja being Dark, but it was also no Fighting type for Water, which is true. So clearly there hasn't been some so-called pattern, which is true, because they don't tend to do that very much. We will see patterns, but it doesn't end up being true. Going on with the typings of the starters. The first being that through Gen 6 and 7, the typings have been completely new for starters, and the second point is that the one typing that has been transferred from the other gens. Gen 5, Firefighting, Gen 6, Grass Fighting, Water Dark, Gen 7, Fire Dark. Ooh, I see what he means here. So it transfers over one generation. I see what he's trying to get to here. I really see what he's trying to get to here. Now looking at this, Fire and Water has transferred to the next generation, and the weakness types are getting the transfer from the last gens. It seems here that the Grass typings from Sun and Moon will be transferred next as Fire and Water transfer their secondary typings from the last two gens. Now, the secondary typing for the Grass Final Evolution starter is Ghost, which means that the Ghost type will be transferred to the next gen, which is Sword and Shield, which is true. There's been a lot of talks about, you know, Sobble being a Ghost type, and even said here, it could possibly be a Ghost type Pokemon instead of a Psychic type, you know what I mean? Now, where were we? Sword and Shield. Now, for which starter does the Ghost type belong to? Well, if you look below, Fire is effective to Grass. Next was Water, which is effective to Fire. So knowing that Grass is next, Grass is effective against Water, which means Water will have the secondary typing as Ghost. Knowing that it is Sobble, for a fact, he was invisible for a little bit in the trailer, it would basically turn out like this. Gen 5 moves over fighting to the next gen. So firefighting, it moves the fighting over to generation 6, which is grass fighting, and then water dark is the new one, the new kind of like combo, and then you move over dark to the next gen to the fire type, which is the one that's, weak against the water type in the previous generation, which gives you fire dark and then grass ghost. And then you move over Ghost to the next generation against the one that, it's weak, the one that it's, like, strong against, which is Grass is strong against Water. So you give it to Water, which makes Water Ghost. So that actually would make a lot of sense, which means we would have one unique new typing in this generation. Maybe even something for, like, Score Bunny having a electric typing, and that's going to be then moved over to next generation. Because that would actually make a lot of sense. So knowing that Sobble will be a Water Ghost type, what about the other starters? Well, knowing that Game Freak are doing what Game Freak are doing, they're trying some new things with the game/gens, and the typings for the starters will be new typings the starters haven't had yet, seeing that that's what they did with X and Y and Sun and Moon. So for Grookey, Grass Rock type has not been done before for any starter. Fair enough. And for Score Bunny, Fire Electric type has not been done before for any starter. Plus his description says bursting with energy. That's why I didn't say steel. Thanks for reading, dude. So yeah, it's a good theory, man. It's actually a really unique point of view on it, because I never would have thought about it in that way, of like the typings moving over, which they seem to be doing based on the the small amount of research that can be made there in that time frame, that small time frame we've had of like what, 3 generations? It seems like that's what it's it's doing. That's what's happening. So if that's the pattern they are following, then ghost typing should go to Sobble, which also would make sense, because people have been saying it's either a psychic or a ghost secondary typing. It just makes sense, right? So, and then also with Score Bunny, it seems like electric typing is one of those that should be then moved over. And we do remember in the trailer, Grookey literally hit the ground, hit the ground specifically, and then grass grew up out of it. You know what I mean? So it just seems like that would make sense, but. I mean, who am I to say, guys? Who am I to say? So, let me know in the comment section down below, ladies and gentlemen. What do you guys think about this? What are your thoughts and opinions? Do you guys think this is realistic? What are your thoughts in general? Do you prefer this little theory right here about the chakras and, opening up the chakras and, doing mudras with your hands and all that? Do you prefer that? Or do you prefer the other the theory here that we had? So, yeah, let me know in the comment section down below. Thanks so much for watching. My name is RuffledRowlit. Have yourselves a great day, and bye-bye, ladies and gentlemen.